Hey, welcome to the inaugural, so to speak, show of the Scoreboard Guy Network here. We're starting off down in Southeast Missouri, and our flagship radio station is KICK 92.3, and this will air on Saturday there, as well as being put live, or not live, but on scoreboardguy.net and Facebook and things like that. But first off, Coach Dusty Dinkins joins us from South Iron High School, and the Panthers been tremendous success the last 2 years, and this season you get the biggest trophy. What was that like?
Oh, it was a great experience. We had a great group of guys that played a lot of basketball together over the years. Unfortunately, to rent them and to be part of it, and it was just a great ride the last few years, and especially here the last few weeks of the season. This was just tremendous, and we were very appreciative and thankful. We had a lot of people support us along the way, and it's just been one of those lifelong memories that we'll never forget.
Well, 25-4 this year. You almost ran the table last year. You go 29-1 a year ago, but your four losses are to Vashon, Cardinal Ritter, Elias, and Cape Notre Dame. Was that by design to schedule up there to kind of prepare these kids for that Final Four run, or was it a fact of, hey, nobody else down here wants to play us?
Well, it was a combination of a little bit of both of those. We knew that we had a lot of potential with this basketball team. We knew that we had several guys that were looking to play at the next level, probably going to be able to play collegiate basketball. And we were wanting to play some other teams that we knew that had guys that were going to play at the next level and had some Division 1 talent, and kind of see where we were at, and also prepare our guys for just being able to handle some adversity, and knowing that you're probably going to be playing from behind, and you just hope that if you played really well that you were going to be in the fourth quarter, and then maybe try to make something happen. That's kind of what happened in the CBC game late January. It was one of those games where it was a dogfight, and all of a sudden, with about 2 minutes to go, we're like, hey, we can actually win this thing. And our guys made enough plays down the stretch to knock off a very talented CBC team.
Visiting with the South Iron head basketball coach Dusty Dinkins here, and you've got some ties maybe to a couple of guys on the screen. We spent some time in the same conference, and Coach Archer may have had something to do a little bit with your college career. But tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I graduated from South Iron in 1994, and then from there went to Three Rivers. Was at Three Rivers and actually had a back injury my sophomore year, and very fortunate that Lynn Nance took a shot on me, took a chance with me there at Southwest Baptist, not knowing how I'd recover from back surgery, and didn't know if I was even going to get to play. And he offered me, and I jumped all over it. Brock Littles was a player on the team at that time, and he was instrumental of getting me over there, and very thankful that connection was there. And then Coach Archer, stepped in and was the head coach there at the end of my career there at SBU. So have a lot of great memories from the SBU days and over in Bolivar and Southwest Missouri. After that, I was an assistant coach at Wablo for 3 years under Jeff Cope, and really am very appreciative of those 3 years. I was not ready to get into the coaching world. Didn't really know how everything worked as far as on that side of it. I knew how to play the game, really didn't know how to explain the game to young people, and that was really a good experience for me and helped me kind of grow up and kind of spread my wings a little bit. And then to South Iron after that, and I've been here 18 years, and it's been a good 18 years. It's been a good a ride. We've had a lot of success over here, but that's largely in part because we've had a lot of kids that have worked really hard, and a lot of parents and community members that have given a lot of support and sacrificed a lot for these young folks. So it's I've been very blessed and very appreciative of all the people along the way that have helped me out.
As you look back at those influencers in your life, kind of give us an idea of the folks that influenced you and kind of made you the coach, and the person you are today as you look back over your career.
Well, first and foremost, it starts with my parents. I had a wonderful mother and father. They were both in education, retired educators. My mother taught for 36 years, I believe it was, maybe 34. My dad was a high school counselor, big into psychology, that kind of stuff. Both of those really helped uh, direct me and guide me and help me. And then obviously along the way, I had a lot of coaches in my life. I played at a very young age. But in high school, I had a couple guys, John Harlow and Shane Benson, both really important upon my understanding of the game and how to play the game and prepare for the game. Everyone in Missouri kind of knows what he's done. And then, Coach Nance and Coach Archer really helped me there at the end of my career. So all those people were very important in my life and helping me, get to where I am today and kind of get me through that stretch of, hey, trying to figure out what life's all about and how about what's going to happen after your playing days are over. So, all those people, very important and very thankful that they were in my life at those stages of my life up to, stepping out into the real world at whatever that was, 22, 23 years old.
Well, outstanding, Coach, and kind of give us an idea as Coach Steve Fowler from Campbell has joined us, but Coach Dinkins, give us kind of an idea of your roster and what you'll have returning. I know you're a month out of a state championship right now, but what are you doing right now to get ready for next year?
Well, honestly, we're playing catch up right now. When you go to make a deep run in the postseason, or what we did is I kind of pushed a lot of stuff to the back of my desk, especially the athletic director stuff. And for the last couple of weeks, it's been nothing but catch up and trying to get those things and get spring sports going. But as far as our roster, we primarily played 6 young men. There was 3 seniors and 3 juniors. Our 3 seniors, we're starters for us. Brock Wakefield was a 6'4" guard. He's going to continue his education at the Citadel out in Charleston, South Carolina, where he's going to be playing basketball. And then he's also going to play baseball as well, but he's going out there primarily for basketball. Jamarco Burst was a 6'4" senior. He's probably going to end up landing at a junior college over in Illinois. We're not finalized on that yet. And then Luke Lundy was a 6'2" guard, and I'm pretty sure he's going to go to Missouri S&T and just be a student there. High academic young man. He's got a brother that's already there. So, those are our 3 seniors. We have 3 juniors. One is my son, Drennan Dinkins. He'll be returning. He's already has quite a bit of college interest and has a couple offers right now. So we're really excited about that. DJ Prater, 6'2", coming back for us, and then Champ McMurray, 6 foot. Both of those guys, we're looking for them to take another step and continue to grow and improve. And we really think they're going to have great senior years. They were really, really great for us this year. So it's nice to have 3 guys coming back to kind of help with the leadership and direction of the team as we go forward. But as far as preparing, we're just kind of giving them some time away, and we got baseball going, and some guys are playing baseball, so give them that time. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
All right, very nice. And you're listening to the Central Bank high school highlight show, so to speak. We're starting off here in Southeast Missouri. We welcome to the show now the head coach of Campbell High School, 25-4 and Class 2 state champion, Steve Fowler. Coach Fowler, thanks so much for being part of it today.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys having me on today.
25-4. You won 18 in a row at one point during the season. At what point did you kind of feel like, hey, this team's got a shot at maybe making an unprecedented run?
Well, I mean, I knew coming in after the summer, we had a pretty good summer this past summer. We played some really good competition this summer, and we played some of the real good teams in Class 2 this summer, and we had a really good summer, real successful in the summertime, and we didn't have all of our kids in the summer. And I know that goes for most schools as well, but we played all summer with most of the time 2 starters not even around, and we was competing with some big schools and with some schools in our class. So we kind of thought we had a pretty good chance this year to do something special. But as we got into the season, we won our tournament here at Campbell early on in the season. We beat Bernie, and Bernie's always real competitive and one of the better teams in our district down this way. And we played them early and beat them, and then we kind of went on a run. We lost to Charleston first game of the year by 4, and we won 18 in a row. And when we got into our conference schedule, we kind of knew that, hey, there's a good chance that we could be pretty special.
Hey, Coach Fowler, just joining the group. Obviously, you got Coach Dusty Dinkins there as well from South Iron High School. Darren Archer, former coach at Southwest Baptist University, Bolivar High School, maybe Wablo, Fair Play most recently. And you see the things, that all the trophies and plaques there in the background, of which Coach Dinkins probably helped put a few of those back there. And then Mark Davis up here on the right from the Springfield area. Kind of want to introduce everybody to everyone, and just an opportunity here to kind of recognize some of the great feats that went on this year. And Coach Fowler, we talked to Coach Dinkins a little bit about his background, and I've read some things where maybe you had this group of seniors when they were in the 6th and 7th, maybe 8th grade. So you kind of come up with them. Kind of give us your background and how you arrived at the head coach there at Campbell.
Well, I've been here for a while. I started here out of college back in 2000, so I've kind of been around. I took a little bit of a break there. Got about a 4-year break a few years back, and when I got my break, I kind of went down and I grabbed these guys that are seniors this year, and we started traveling with them guys, man, back when they was in 2nd and 3rd grade, and we started traveling. Of course, I've got my son's in that group, and we did a lot of basketball, a lot of traveling, and kind of brought them all the way up through. They've been playing together for a long time, so it's been fun to watch. I mean, you go back now and you get to watch some of those videos back when they was in elementary, and as they progressed all the way up into seniors this year. So it's been pretty fun.
Outstanding. Was you look back at that run, to the championship game, I mean, you scored 100 points or more 4 times this season. Coach Dinkins put up 100, I think, 5 times this season. So very prolific scoring teams. But take us back through that run as you go into the sectionals, you win your district, and then you've got to come out and play that sectional game, and then into the quarterfinals, and then into the semifinals, and then against a very good Norwood team. What was that run like?
Oh, well, we beat Bernie in the district final. And after we got through, winning the district, that was for our school. That was our first district championship. So that was something real special for our community and for our kids. And and everybody's excited. But then you turn around and you look, you got Alton standing in front of you, and Alton's a very good basketball team. So we was fortunate. We didn't play very well against Alton, and they had a lot to do with that, obviously. But I think we got down in that Alton game. We got down by 20 in the 3rd, going into the 4th, and ended up beating them there at the buzzer on a layup to beat Alton. And after that, I think it really kind of sparked our kids like, hey, man, let's just go ahead and win this whole thing. And they was zoned in pretty much all year, but that really gave them a lot of confidence going into that quarterfinal.
Well, if it's your first district, obviously it's your first state championship. What did that mean to the community?
Oh, it's the support here has been unreal. It's been crazy here. I mean, the community and even the surrounding communities over here. But it's been very, very special and important for our community and for our school. I mean, we haven't had much success here as far as winning lots of districts and state titles and things like that here. So it was real special. It was good for our community, and it was good for our kids.
You're listening to the High School Highlights Show here on KICK 92.3 and part of the Scoreboard Guy Network, presented by Central Bank of the Ozarks. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow. And we'll be right back. Back to the High School Highlight Show here on KICK 92.3, and I almost went the wrong way there, but certainly glad everyone's tuned in, and it's an honor and a privilege to visit with 2 high school state championship coaches, Dusty Dinkins in Class 1 from South Iron, and Steve Fowler as Campbell wins their first ever state championship. And going back to and both coaches coaches can kind of address this, but Coach Dinkins, as you look back over this year, the whole COVID situation, what was maybe the biggest challenge that you had as a head coach? Was it, uh, making sure that your kids understood the veracity of this, that, hey, you got to play every game like it could be your last. They could shut this down. In class 1, 2, and 3, we're very fortunate last year, and they got the state championships in. But what was your biggest challenge maybe this year dealing with COVID?
Well, I guess it was just trying to maneuver through, trying to keep guys, alert and aware of their surroundings and how to try to stay healthy and maybe stay distance from people and whether that's whenever you have games, where are you sitting in the crowd, or are you sitting in the crowd, or are we in the lunchroom, just all over, as far as making sure we know who are around, what our surroundings are, and those types of things. It was really a lot easier for us being a small school and a small community. And, we don't have a lot of people down here, so it's pretty easy to social distance. But when you do get into those school settings or game settings, how are you relating to your guys, the importance of who you're around, and that goes also to our managers and our JV players. I mean, they're going to be around our varsity guys, so we were really trying to direct them in the right direction, as far as they need to be extra careful too, because they're in our program and they're around our guys, and they could shut us down. So, but overall, we just tried to go through it with the mindset that we're going to try to enjoy every moment we have together, because we don't know when it might be shut down or it might be all over. So that was something that was big upon us, as we just tried to enjoy the journey together for however long it lasted.
And Coach Fowler, kind of that same question. What was maybe the biggest challenge that Campbell High School boys basketball team faced this year, and head coach as well?
Well, just to piggyback off of Coach Dinkins, it was the same thing here. We was just trying to, make sure that we knew where our kids were at, trying to make sure that our kids, wasn't running around, on the weekends and running around and running to other communities. We was trying to keep them away from everybody else, and we managed to, thanking the good Lord, but we managed to make it through the season, and we didn't have to have any of our kids quarantined as far as varsity players. I mean, we made it through without having a big issue where we had to quarantine a whole bunch of our kids, and that makes a big difference. We was able to kind of get rolling, and as the season was going on, and we kind of kept the ball rolling, and we kept all of our kids healthy. And matter of fact, for us, it may have been one of the better seasons that I've had, where we didn't even have, I mean, we didn't have guys getting, with the flu or anything. I mean, we had a pretty good year health wise. So we was very fortunate, but we was just mindful of where they was at. And they was mindful of, here at school, they have to wear masks. So they had to wear masks all day long. And so it was just one of those things where we was just trying to keep track of them. And our kids were really laser focused this year. They had a goal in mind, and they wanted to make sure they accomplished it. So, they didn't mind to try to keep themselves healthy, and that's what we did. And it was thanking the good Lord, but we didn't really have a whole lot of issues this year as far as sickness and COVID.
And Coach Dinkins, South Iron Panthers, kind of give the listeners an idea of the conference you play in, the teams that you face, and take us kind of through your district this year, and then what's your expectations as far as where the districts might be last year. This is the first year where they went to Class 6. On the basketball side of it, probably didn't affect you much, but any thoughts there?
As far as our conference goes, we have kind of spread out in size. We have some class ones, but we also have some class threes in it. It's us and Bunker and Lesterville, and then Ellington, Clearwater, and East Carter. As far as our conference goes, we play in the Arcadia Valley Thanksgiving tournament, which is a nice opening tournament at Thanksgiving time. Playing the Christmas tournament at Park Hills, which has I believe we're the only Class 1 school, and there might be another Class 2, but the rest are, a lot larger than us, and it's a good opportunity for us to go out there and see kind of where we're at. But as far as the season progressed, stuff as far as districts, they were relatively the same as last year. Not having Dora in Class 1 this year with Haney moving to Kickapoo and then the triplets moving down to Arkansas. They were going to be Class 2 anyways. So with the 6 classes this year, but boy, they were a really talented team last year. But as far as this year, our district championship game was against Bunker. They have a really nice team. They got a 6'4" sophomore, is a really nice player, 6'3" junior, and then a 6'4" senior. They had a really nice team. Played Chadwick in the sectionals, and I think Chadwick is, they were one of the tougher teams we played in Class 1. I think that, they were a Final Four caliber basketball team in Class 1. They had a really nice year and nice team. And then, the quarterfinals with Delta, and they have a high octane offense, and fortunately we do too, and we just basically outscored them. But boy, they have some kids that can really put the ball in the hole. So, that was kind of a brief run through of our season. Or, you already talked about our schedule a little bit, and some of the larger schools played. But, as far as going to 6 classes, I'm not sure really as far as in Class 1 if it really affected us a lot, outside of, Door not being there this year.
Coach Fowler, what are your thoughts on the classifications? Did it affect you this year? Did it change your district in any way?
Well, yeah, it actually did. We lost Portageville last year was in our district, and Portageville got bumped to Class 3. So Portageville is always going to be competitive. They're always going to guard you, and they're going to be a really good basketball team. And they got bumped to Class 3, and I think they ended up getting to the district final in Class 3. But so we did lose them out of our district. But other than that, we still had Bernie and Hayti and South Pim and guys like that in there. So, but the biggest change for our district was losing Portageville.
As you guys look, obviously being a state champion, you got to play teams from around the state. Kind of give us an idea of what basketball is like down in Southeast Missouri compared to maybe some of the schools that you face up here. Maybe it's a more physical, less physical, maybe a more up and down pace. What were the differences that you saw as you got to branch out and play teams from different parts of the state?
Well, I mean, as far as down this way, I mean, our conference, we play in the Boot Hill Conference. So, I mean, you're looking at, in our conference, you got Portageville, you got Hayti, you got Crothersville, South Pim, Zenith Hornersville, I mean, Malden. So, our conference is a very, very athletic conference. And on most years, we struggle to compete athletically because they're just so athletic and strong. And a lot of those schools play football, and they're just big, strong, and athletic. And so going through that conference schedule, I mean, down here this way, I mean, you see a lot of physical basketball. The way the game's called, it's very physical. Referees down here in the Boot Hill let you play. I mean, so and a lot of up and down, and that's the way we like to play. We just we had to muscle up and play, and we've been through a lot of physical games down this way. We like to play up and down, and as we started moving out and seeing teams from the other parts of the state, we was ready because our guys were used to seeing real physical type of basketball, and I think it helped us down in our run.
Coach Dinkins, and I know you've played up in this area in the past. You've been a part of a couple scoreboard guy shootouts. What are your thoughts on the type of basketball that you ran into?
Well, our location is a little bit different, being an hour kind of northwest of Poplar Bluff. We kind of, we'll go south and play some, and then we'll, in our area and then on north towards Park Hills, we'll play. And, it's been known for many years that once you go down south and you go Poplar Bluff and south, it's going to be a more physical brand of basketball, and it's not called quite the same way, like Coach Fowler said. So we get a mix of it. Our kids kind of get their head wrapped around a little bit as far as knowing kind of you're going to have to adjust to the style of what referees are calling that game. It's been a challenge many times for young people, our young guys. You can only imagine, 15, 16, 17-year-old guys trying to figure out how the game's going to get called, where you're at. But I think, officials do a pretty good job of trying to be consistent with the way they call. So that helps out as far as traveling through the postseason. It's a difficult thing for Michigan to do, to put together crews at the Final Four, in my opinion. Guys that haven't worked together, and for the most part, I think they do a good job of trying to blend those guys together. But we had to maneuver through a little bit of foul trouble in the postseason, with us knowing that we only played about 6 guys. Kind of our philosophy over the years, and knowing that we're going to play bigger, stronger competition. We're not much of a man-to-man basketball team, because we try to do things within zones that will help us maybe hide foul trouble, or put guys in positions where we want our 6'4", 200-pound. The only purpose of those types of things. But as far as the referee, and it's those things where some good officiating, and it was very consistent, so that we were very thankful with the player maybe getting a few calls going for that.
Well, as you guys look back, obviously you guys had a tremendous season, and I've got kind of one more question here to ask. Going back to we'll start with Coach Dinkins. If you could go back and tell that SBU Dusty Dinkins, the player, give him some advice, what would you go back and tell a 18 to 20-year-old Coach Dusty Dinkins?
Ooh, that's a hard one. That's one of those that, well, you have to wrap your head around a little bit. I would say that probably, off the top of my head, just enjoy it, enjoy those playing days. And I heard that, from guys. Enjoy it, give it your best. And I was very fortunate to have some really great teammates, or we had some great bonds, some great friendships, even still have them today. Robbie Hoig's the head coach there at Bolivar, and he was my roommate there at SBU, and just a fantastic guy. And I'm very thankful for those opportunities. Like I said, Brock Littles earlier, but we had several other guys that were good guys. Very thankful for that. And I've always appreciated friendships, but I guess going back it'd be, hey, make sure that you really appreciate that even more, and then let them know that. And the world's going to come at you pretty quick. Try to take what you can, get all the wisdom that you can from the people that are trying to help you. And I guess the other thing would be decision making. Young folks, it's especially in college, sometimes you don't make the best of decisions, and I would probably go back and say, hey, make a few better decisions, and also maybe some guys that kind of give some advice to them. Hey, let's make some better decisions. As far as we did lose one teammate, one friend in a car accident, didn't have his seatbelt on, and that's whenever I was already out of college, but he was still in college. So those types of things, life can change really fast, and make sure you're intelligent about it.
And Coach Fowler, what would your advice be to a young Steve Fowler?
Well, I mean, Coach Dinkins said it all. I mean, like the biggest thing would be just to enjoy the moment, like, enjoy those high school days where you got to play and in front of a big crowd, and enjoy it. Enjoy your college years. Just have a good time and enjoy it. But another thing that I would probably tell myself was, I would need to work a little bit harder than and I thought at the time, and I worked, as far as wanting to be a good basketball player, I thought I really, really worked, and I worked really hard, and I did all that things, but looking back on it, I'd probably say, hey, you could do more than what you did. And that's what I tried to instill into these kids that I've got today, and especially mine. It's just come through, just push yourself. If you think you're working hard, you're really not. Find another way to continue to improve. Find another way to take it to the next level. And I think that would be one of the things that I'd probably tell a young Steve Fowler.
Coach Archer or Mark, if you got any questions here, you want to fire at these two state championship coaches?
Well,
Yeah.
Coach Fowler, sorry,
No, go ahead.
before you joined us, Coach Dinkins was telling us about the future of his players and what they were looking forward to after high school. What about some of your players? What are their plans?
Well, to be honest, most of our guys, I mean, we was senior heavy this year. You guys probably know we had 9 seniors on our roster, and that's all we played all year. I mean, our 5 starters were seniors, our bench players were seniors, so we was very fortunate to be senior heavy. And most of them, there's like 4 or 5 of them that's going to go on and play college baseball. So this group has been really baseball crazy. Coming through. My son is more of the basketball guy. He's basketball crazy. So Blake's going to go on and play some college basketball. And then we've got, like I said, we've got 4 for sure. And I think there's a possibility of 1 more, maybe 5 that's going to go on and play college baseball. So, and the rest of them, we got 1 going in the military and we got a couple more that's just opting just to go to college and get their education. So, the good thing is we got 9 seniors and they all right now are on a mission and they all got a plan. So, and that's the big thing for me as a coach is to get them out the door, get them graduated, get them out the door and see them successful in the future.
Guys, congratulations, first of all, on state championships. It's quite a feat to get a group of young men together and get that accomplished. My question to you is, both of you coach young men that share your last name and eat at your dinner table most nights. Number one, what was it like to coach them? What are some of the ups and downs of coaching your own son? And what was it like to share a state championship title with them?
Coach
Dinkins, go ahead.
It'll probably be about the same, Coach Fowler.
I'm sure it will be.
Challenge that freshman and sophomore year was really tough. I know it was the same for Coach Fowler, I'm sure, as far as, we were very young, but our young guys were the guys that were playing varsity. As freshmen and sophomores, they were competing at the varsity level. And that's a challenge because at that age, when you're relying on them to compete and play at a high level, and that they can do it, but that there's going to be some really tough moments and bad moments, and just the emotions, I think, at that age of their life was really hard. And then also a father, as a coach that kind of knows the best in their kid and kind of knows where that level is. And when you don't see that, you have to be really careful because you try to maybe set that bar too high every day. And there's going to be some days where it's going to be not there. And you got to make sure that you just don't blow a gasket and just have a practice where it's kind of prove a point. Well, you got to step back and realize that you're the adult, they're the child, they're the kid, and you're there to try to help them. And it was very, very difficult for me. But as far as I've shared this with a lot of people, and I know Coach Fowler is probably the same way, and I'm looking forward to hearing his information. But you got to have that relationship off the court. You got to have that bond. There's a saying I got from a pastor a long time ago: rules without relationships results in rebellion. So if you don't have those relationships, and you got to have that, or it's just going to go south. And they got to know that you love them and you're in their corner. And I messed up. I didn't do it all right every day, but we knew we could come back together and say, hey, I love you. I'm in your corner. Just want what's best for you. And it was great. Winning a state championship with him was great. But I all those guys, they're friends, and so they're all kind of like my son. So winning it with all those guys was tremendous. So that was kind of my take on it.
Coach Fowler, we've got just probably about 3 minutes left here, but kind of answer that same question.
Well, I mean, you can just replay Coach Dinkins' answer, really. I mean, it was the same thing. I mean, when Blake was a freshman, sophomore, when he was young, he was playing varsity since he was a freshman. And, it was growing pains, I would say. I was expecting a whole lot out of him as a freshman. And then after everything's said and done, you step back and look, and you're like, man, he's a little bitty freshman playing out there against Crothersville and Hayti, and against some athletes that can jump over his head and put their elbow on the rim. And I'm expecting a whole lot of a whole lot out of him when he's younger, and it caused a little bit of a strain. When he was a freshman, sophomore, he had to ride home from practice with me. So, practice never stopped. I mean, it was sometimes he got to hear it at practice, and sometimes he got to hear it in the truck when we was on the way home, and sometimes he got to hear it at home. So, as he got a little older, he got to drive, so he can kind of, hey, practice is over, I'm out of here. You don't have to hear me all the way home, but. Anyway, no, it was fun. It was something that I'll cherish forever. I mean, I got to coach him through high school, and at the end of the day, we got it done. And I mean, and like Coach said, hey, it's one of those things where, hey, I expected way more out of him than I did some of those other guys. Although I had my standard really high for those other guys, I mean, really high. But I held him to a really, really, really high standard, and there was a lot of times I would take it out on him, but him being the leader of the team, he took it, and at the end of the day, we got it done. And as long as them guys know that you love them, they'll do anything you want for them. Or for you. So that was a big thing for me. And like Coach said, you got to have a relationship at home. You got to turn it off at some point. And it was one of those things where, I had to turn it off and had to be a dad at home. So, but I enjoyed it. It was awesome.
Well, coaches, again, congratulations. Thanks so much for being part of the inaugural show. And you're listening to the High School Highlights Show, talking Southeast Missouri high school boys basketball, and brought to you by Central Bank of the Ozarks. And we'll be back after these messages from KICK 92.3, home of the Royals. Back after this.